Well, here we are in front of my producer's house, Sarah's house, looking at her lawn, and just doing a little, looking right around in this spot right here, I've come up with 3 diseases already, 3 funguses in the lawn. And I'm not surprised. This is a southwest facing sloped area, and that's a difficult place for turf to be. And in the middle of a hot summer where we have water restrictions, I'm not surprised that we have problems. The turf is thinning, it looks a little puny, the funguses are coming out. We have dollar spot here, which is typically an indication of a lack of nitrogen. Right in the middle we have melting out disease, which has been active since probably April. And over here we have ascochyta leaf blight, which comes into the hot part of the year. And I'm sure if I looked farther I could probably find some other problems, but I think this is enough for now. What Sarah needs to do here in the front of her lawn is to straighten out her watering problems, which it will be difficult to do on a sprinkler system because of this slope being right next to a sidewalk. It probably starts to run off after about 5 minutes of watering. So water short periods of time, let it soak in, water again until you've put down enough water to really soak down a good 4 inches deep if you can. Also, as you see, this turf is thinning out. And when you start to have a thinning out turf, you start to get problems with weeds. Grassy weeds and broadleaf weeds start to invade the lawn. So putting down a fertilizer to feed the grass and get it healthy, because you know, you and I, if we're starving, we can't resist diseases and other problems, neither can your turf. I don't care if it's spring, summer, or fall. You've got to take that into consideration. You can put down a fungicide to control some of these diseases, but unless you deal with the cultural practices first, your fungicide applications are going to have minimal effectiveness. So here, Ferti-lome has a great product called F-stop. They also have a great product called liquid systemic fungicide. The F-stop is a dry material you put down with a fertilizer spreader and water it in. The liquid systemic fungicide, obviously the liquid you put on with the hose end sprayer. Put it on in the evening, let it set all night, and then you can let kids and pets out on it the next day. So correcting the water issues, correcting the fertilizer issues, putting down some fungicide here, and typically within about 3 weeks or so. I'd give this about 3 weeks, even for these larger dead areas, to fill in from the sides and become a much more lush and happy lawn. Now, speaking of happy lawns, we have some more unhappy lawn in the back. The devastation just keeps going. So follow me to the backyard and we'll talk about some other problems there. What we have here is a failure to grow grass. In fact, I found another problem. Right here you can see a lot of brown at the tips of this grass. That is a dull lawnmower blade. And you should be sharpening your lawnmower blade several times during the summer months. What a dull blade does is just kind of beats the end of the grass to death and just frays the top of the grass, and that causes it to brown out, and it just adds more brown to an already browning situation, and you don't want to do that. But here in the backyard, our biggest problem are children and pets. As you can see, we've got a lot of bare spots down on the ground where there's just absolutely no grass. That's compaction. This grass has been beat on by lots of little feet. Out here where you see more yellowy brown, this is dog spot heaven right over here. Lots of female dog spots. The problem with dog spots is the ammonia in the urine. It's not the temperature, it's not the acidity, it's the ammonia burns the grass. And then it sits there in the soil, so it doesn't let new grass grow back right away. There is one product that I can recommend for dog spots, and that is called water and leaching out that ammonia. If you want to use a Band-Aid approach to this without, you still need to use the water, but something that will help speed up the whole process is a product that's made by Easy Gardener called Grass Shield. And it does actually have some science behind it to get the ammonia out of there and help leach those salts out of the soil so that you can repair this area. Now it's July, it's hot, this is not the time of year to seed. Grass seed likes a nice, cool, moist part of the year, so that's going to be later on in September. Right now, if you were to repair this area, the best thing I could recommend is to tear this turf out, dig up the soil, add some compost so you can get down, a good 6 or 8 inches deep to fluff up the soil, and then sod this area. It's not that big of an area. It's not going to be that expensive. They'll probably be able to do it for maybe around $100 and a little bit of elbow grease and some sweat. But sodding is instant. And it takes very quickly. Grass seed takes many, many weeks to work. Sodding is instant. I love sodding. It does a really nice job, and they'll have a nice green area out here right away. So we talked about fertilizing the lawn during the summer months. A lot of people think that's just not something you do. It's bad for the lawn, but I'm here to tell you it's the best thing you can do to keep a nice looking lawn and a healthy lawn through the hot summer dry months. And we're going to go out to Paulino's, and I'm going to show you how to choose a fertilizer for the hot summer months. So as promised, here we are at Paulino Gardens, one of my favorite haunts, and I wanted to show you some of the lawn foods that were out. Now when I was a kid and I helped my dad with fertilizing the yard and taking care of the yard, there weren't very many choices for lawn foods, and so you had to be careful with what you used. Now lawn foods are much better and there are a lot more selection. I'm going to start you off here right here with this Ferti-lome Classic. Now what I want you to look for during the summer months is a high nitrogen, which is the first number here, the 16, slow release. For that you'll have to turn the bag over. And if you were to turn this bag around, down here in the ingredients, it'll tell you what kind of nitrogen is in this bag. Less than 1% of this bag is fast release nitrogen. The rest of it's all slow release. And that's important so you don't burn the grass during the hot summer months. So you put this down, water it in, and it's good for a good 6, 7, 8 weeks before you have to feed again. If you would prefer an organic choice, then I would look at the Richland Pro Rich down here. It'll give you the same slow release nitrogen and some extra iron and sulfur to give you that super greening power. So don't forget to fertilize. That's what I want you to take away from this today. Don't forget to fertilize your lawn. It's important. It keeps it healthy even during a hot, dry summer. Coming up, we'll take a look at some shrubs that can give you some season-long interest.
Coming up today, I'm going to make a charred salsa that you'll be able to make on your grill while you're barbecuing your other meats this summer.
Timely Tips is brought to you by Paulino Gardens, paulinogardens.com.